estate agent. I have a long, boring drive out to Katy, all on 99, no traffic, it's drizzling. So I thought I'd give you a little YouTube video. I will not be looking at you, I will be looking at the street, so you can feel all good about watching me. And I wanted to share a little bit about agents and nice agents and catty agents and uneducated agents. I mean, we have some uneducated agents new to the business. They don't know very much. That's all right. Often we help them through the transaction, and often during the transaction we're totally used to do both sides of the deal, as long as it brings everybody to the closing table and helps for a smooth transaction. That's very normal, and I don't have a chip in my crown. That's totally okay, as long as the other agent is nice and willing to listen and to do the best in the interest of their agents. I don't ask them to work for my side or for my client, but that we are reasonable. And then there are agents that are catty, yeah, and that seems to be a thing too. They come in to the transaction already like guns blazing, fists up, ready to rumble and ready to fight. And I personally prefer to just keep it calm and kind and professional. Not saying I don't have my boxing gloves in the drawer right next to me, but you always want to start on a good note and always come from the position of trying to make it a win-win situation, right? If you already come in a matter like it's you against me, then it is actually all about agent egos, and it is not about them helping their client and me helping my clients, and we try to find middle ground if possible. If not, then sometimes you have to separate and list all over again, or on the buyer side find a new property. But there are some agents, and they're pretty big on social media and sharing, you don't want a nice agent, you want an aggressive agent. And I honestly disagree with that, because during a transaction you don't know what you don't know. We had things like legal description totally messed up, or airship situation, and guess what? All of a sudden everything takes forever and longer, and you rely on the other agent to ask their client to wait for us till we have airship situations resolved, or certain things figured out, or a survey. We thought the survey is good, but it's not good, so now we need a new survey, and it's holiday or something. So there are situations during the transaction where you do need the favor of the other agent. It does not mean it's anyone's fault. It can be both of the agent's fault, can be no one's fault, can be a very slow or lazy or old, disabled, whatever, seller or buyer, and everything just takes a second longer, or whatever kind of favor you need during the transaction. Doesn't mean we're not working for our client. It means we do the best in our client's interest to move everybody to the closing table, as long as that is the goal. And I see sometimes agents coming in so hot and guns blazing that the client shuts down, my client. And while I try to tell them, look, don't take it personal, they just try to do their job. Yes, they're a little bit aggressive with how they present things, but let's try to see it neutral, and let's to try to see where is your benefit in all of that, and how we can move it forward without many losses. But sometimes there are negotiations for a good reason, and we have to give in a little bit. Yeah, and sometimes I recently had a transaction, and they were not in right, but they simply said, we terminate. If you don't do what we say, we terminate. And it was still the best for my client to give in a little bit, and the client was very, very, very kind. In that case, the client was nicer than I would have been. But that helped, of course, the transaction, and my client understood that we had a very unexperienced agent on the other side. And that's sometimes what happens. So we got lucky. We could have easily lost the whole transaction with all the consequences for the client. So that's why when we have those transactions with a great agent on the other side, and you call them and they take your call, or you text with a question and they answer.
Take the exit to merge onto I-10 East toward Houston.
Sorry, GPS talking. When everybody just does the right thing through the negotiations, complaints, emotions, and we get it to the closing table, and at the end the seller feels a winner and the buyer feels a winner, and the agents are glad that we helped our clients through the transaction. that is so important to me. So I personally think agents that come in hot and steaming, it is almost more about themselves than about the client. Often we have to swallow down and just take the beating from the other side, and words and text message and language from the other agents. Language, I am German, I heard racist stuff because of my skin color, I'm XYZ. So all of that happens, and I'm just like, whatever. I'm not even taking that personal, because it is not. I'm just doing my job for my client, and everything is in writing, and if anyone wants to look at it, they can. So it is most important to make it about our clients, to serve them best, to do our very best, even when the other agent is cooking or the other client is cooking and boiling hot, that we do our very best to calm down the situation. And that's partially why I'm
exit to merge onto I-10 East toward Houston.
That's partially why I'm in coaching, to even in those situations learn to do better and better, not only toward my own client, but for example agent relationships, how to de-escalate certain situations, and in the end
use the left lane to keep left to merge onto I-10 East toward Houston.
She's the only one who can interrupt me, my GPS, to bring everybody safely to the closing table. And that actually does benefit my client at the end, because at the end, when we're on the listing side, they just want to close, they want to see their money on time, and they don't want any legal steps afterwards. So that means everybody needs to be happy at the point of closing, otherwise we have a big issue, and that's my job. And same on the buyer side, when the buyer has a tummy pain, we need to take care of that, that they feel how do you say, that they feel secure with what they're buying. And sometimes they have more tummy pain where we don't even see it so much. We're like, okay, that is not a biggie. But it is still my job to make sure that they feel confident, because at the end of the day, they spend a whole lot of money for whatever we are buying. And we had it recently, and we did some re-inspections. Re-inspections came back how I expected it, and the other listing agent expected it as well. But you never know. And definitely I don't want to be the person at the end that didn't walk the extra mile because my client was not feeling comfortable.
Miles, take exit 753B toward Derry Ashford Road.
Derry Ashford, you know, we're heading toward Energy Corridor. After that we go to Katy, after that we go to Cypress, and after that we go home. Okie dokie, that was my 2 cents and my take on agents, catty agents, awesome agents, uneducated agents. We do all of them, and while I get upset here and there, I do try to get calm again very quickly and have the best attitude, and then end on a positive note. We just ended one, and I think the agent dropped several balls on her side, and then I said, hey, it was nice working with you, you know, thank you very much, hope to run into you again soon. So because you run into each other again, you know, and you also don't know if a not so busy or not so educated agent, it can very well be that they become a top agent later. They will not forget if you screwed them over. They will not forget if you made them feel like an idiot, or if you shamed them for something. Always be nice to everybody. First of all, of course, in the transactions, my due diligence and my fiduciary duty to my client to do the very best for them. But also, you run into each other again. That transaction might be over, but if you wronged someone and they see your name on a listing, maybe they will simply not show your property. They remember you were a pain to work with. Let's not do this, dear client. Let's just look at the other houses, you know? So, yeah, that's my 2 cents. I'm here on I-10. A lot of traffic. People have accidents. They're having accidents in Houston area just because it's raining. I'm German, I don't understand that. You don't need to have an accident just because it's raining. Okay, you guys, have a good day, okay? Bye-bye. Stay safe.